Hi U.S. History students, Dr. Bradley with a screencast on reading and note-taking strategies for history. If you missed class today, it's really worthwhile listening to this screencast and following its instructions because it will make you a much more effective textbook reader. So in the handout that I have provided for you, and you can get it online under resources, you'll see I have a section for your textbook and a section for your primary source documents. Since we've already covered primary source documents earlier in class, I'm going to focus today on reading strategies for using your textbook here. Like for primary source documents, the strategies are divided into prepare, pre-read, read, and review. And preparing is fairly basic. You take out your notebook, your terms list, and your week sheet. And in your textbook, you will see if you go to the back of any chapter, so since we're reading in Chapter 1, go to the back of Chapter 1, and you will find that there is a list of terms and people to know. You should start a running list at the back of your notebook where you take reading notes, or a section in your binder where you will write down terms for each chapter. And when we finish a unit, those will be your study, the terms to study for the unit summative assessment. On the week sheet, of course, we will have the actual reading assignments, and you will find this week's week sheet under resources as well, and you should download it and print it out and put it in your binder for tomorrow. The pre-reading step and taking notes in the pre-reading step goes as follows. You should always write down in your notes the chapter title and the time period, even if your reading assignment starts on page 16, as it does for tonight, which is in the middle of Chapter 1, because you want to orient yourself as to what is the overall chapter about. Secondly, you should leaf through the entire chapter and look at the subheadings, again to orient yourself. These are in boldface with a star in front. And for the subheadings that are relevant to your reading for tonight, you should make each subheading into a relevant question, much as we did with the primary source document reader. You should leaf through the whole chapter, and you should look at pictures, maps, charts, graphical information, and jot down observations you have about what you see there. This doesn't take very long, but you'd be amazed at what you can learn from pictures, maps, and charts, and what you will have jogged in your own memory from when you last took U.S. history, either in 7th or 8th grade. Then you should flip to the back of the chapter and you should write down terms and people to know list for the chapter. Optional, you can also take the multiple choice test that's at the end of each chapter before you read. The value of this before you start is it will also jog your memory, and it will help you tune into what's important when you later read the section. That's all the pre-reading activity. Please don't skimp on these pre-reading exercises, because under pressure, I know a lot of students want to just jump into the reading, but if you do the pre-reading exercises, you will be a much more effective and efficient reader. So then you get to the reading part. You read the introductory paragraph for each chapter slowly, and I would recommend doing this for any reading assignment, even if the reading assignment starts on page 16, as it does for tomorrow, because the first chapter of each chapter, the first paragraph of each chapter is the overview, and it's well worth understanding. Then read a section that's outlined by a subheading, or a couple of pages at a time with focus. Don't waste your time if you cannot focus. So we've all had that experience of sitting down to read something for pleasure or for school and finding that our eyes pass over the page and we're not taking anything in. If this is happening, you should stop and ask yourself, why am I unable to focus? Is it because I'm distracted and I'm thinking about something else, in which case you need to deal with that distraction and then come back to work? Is it because I'm hungry and I need to get some food to fuel my brain? Or is it because I'm tired? If you're hungry, you should get some food. If you're tired, you should get up and move around. Maybe get some exercise, gentle exercise for 10 or 15 minutes. Walk around the block, do a few sit-ups. Do something to get that circulation going to your brain. Or if you know how to take power naps, take a power nap and get back to work in 15 minutes. So assuming you've read a couple of pages or a section with focus, then take notes on key ideas, events, and people. You shouldn't make these more than 5 or 6 lines per subheading. The purpose of notes is to trigger memory of things you did not take notes on, not to replicate what's in the book. Finally, when you're done with